everyone, Llewellyn here today. We are going to be working on part 3 of the dresser behind me. So far we have worked for, this is going to be our third part. So we've had 2 parts. The first was sort of the beginning of the sky. The second was the land, and we wrapped that around the side. And that now today is going to be the sky again, and then tomorrow land. And Friday either we'll be ready to seal the front up, and I'll show you how I do that, or we'll be maybe adding some flowers on. Okay, so here's our sky, and it's really pretty already, but if you come a little closer in, it's just kind of a little bit rough. It's a little bit of a rough blend. I'm gonna kind of show you guys what colors I'm using as we go along. So I'm gonna start from the very top and move my way down. We are gonna start in that top corner. Again, I'm going to use the cobalt blue. So basically we're doing a second coat, but in our second coat we're adding detail, and anything that we already had can show through, so you've got a good base. And I will be using my spray bottle a little more today. All I've got is water in my spray bottle here. Okay, so I'm getting my cobalt, and like as usual I am using the Dixie Belle small oval brush. It's got to be my favorite for this particular project, at least, because it's the perfect size, and it's just getting those colors in there. It gets them blended really nicely. And I'm just gonna lightly mist it with my spray bottle, and I'm going to move on to this Pure Ocean color. So now I'm moving on to Aubergine. This is a deep dark purple. I'm using the same brush. I'm just trying to create with this coat is where I really want to put in some dimension. So this is Peony. It is a bright pink. I'm gonna get some of this purple in here. This purple's color is amethyst. And right now it's just creating that depth and dimension. So we're just layering it all in there. Layering and layering. And I might wanna make it drip a little. You can make it drip. And all you do is just spritz it with the water. Because I had my other, on my painting, the sky was a little bit drippy and a little bit runny, and a whole lot of pretty. So the original sky color, like what's down here and kind of my background color, is this Dixie Belle blue. And I love this blue color for like the perfect sky. And I know this part with all the detail isn't quite as easy as just going in there and blending all those pretty colors in together. But this is all the detail is what makes it really come to life. This is my favorite part. Okay, I'm gonna go back into my pink. And I'm still going back and forth between aubergine, amethyst, and peony for my brights and darks. Aubergine is my shadow sort of color, so that's where these clouds will be dark and shadowy, like right there. We'll make this dark and shadowy right here. And I just keep spritzing and keeping it wet. I'm going to grab a craft brush really quick. And this is apricot. I have some apricot on there. And I'm going in the bottoms of my clouds. Especially right here, I wanted to put some in. Right where the clouds are like opening up towards this little open peeking through sky. So we'll see what this does. Let me add it in here. And you know what? It's just paint. If you don't like it, you can go back and change it. So I'm going back in. I'm grabbing a clean brush. This is a big one. It's the Dixie Belle Oval. I think it's the medium size. And I'm just drying it off because I had it in water. And I'm just going to blend this in really gently. And I might go back in with that small one that I'm using for all my color and add some more peony in there. It's pretty wet right now, so I just want to add some of my splotches of color. But you guys can see this part does take a bit longer than the other two parts, but it's those details that make all the difference. Look at that, isn't it coming to life? I can totally see it now when I look back. Sometimes I need to step away and like, am I doing the right thing, you know? Step back and look at your painting. They always say to do that. It does help, especially when you're up close and personal like I am. I'm like right here in the painting. So a lot of times I'll step back and look at my painting just to see. And so like what I like about doing this double coat is that underneath I still have that blue. So if you don't like a part, and you're like, I want that to blend into the blue better, you know, you can wipe it off and you've still got paint underneath already. Let's add some drippiness in here. I still just have 3 little brushes that I've been using. And I'm gonna grab my color brush. It's that same one I was just dabbing the pink on. And I think I'll go in and add some Dixie Belle Blue right here. So I'm gonna get it wet. And then I'm just spritzing it and dabbing. I want it to kind of run. There we go. Now you can see it kind of running down. If you feel like it's running too far, you just dab with a cloth or a paper towel. Bam, it's good to go. The last coats, that's where you really start to see a change, for sure. Sometimes it takes a little bit and you're like, where is this going? I feel the same way sometimes. So I do like that dripping. It's a little bit light though, so I'm gonna blend it back up into some of this cobalt like we did earlier. And you can blend it out with your fingers or with a rag or spritz it. If you don't like it, you can go back in and spray it all off. This paint is pretty forgiving, and so are skies. So right now, if I'm getting paint on this part, it's not a big deal. Because right now I'm adding in, on my painting just above the skyline, I had some more sort of wispy clouds in there. And the colors that I used for that were Plum Crazy. I'm gonna just dip it right in, the tiniest bit. And I dip such a small amount, it doesn't even really leave any paint in the bottom. I just like so lightly dab. Well, people always are asking about that too, and I wanna, it doesn't hurt my paint usually. And that just adds some wispy clouds down in the bottom there. I'm gonna go in with some amethyst as well. Super light. And I'm mixing it right into those colors that I used above the skyline. I got a little bit too much, so you can just dab it right off. Every once in a while, in between, just a little tip, I'll spray my brushes just slightly to make sure that they're not drying out, especially the ones that I'm in the middle of using with my paint. If I've got my paint tins open for a long time, I'll just spray lightly inside of them too. Ever so slightly, just so that it leaves a little bit of damp on the top. Then my paints don't dry out really quick. Okay, I'm gonna move over onto the other side. I like where this is headed. I think this side is mostly done. You never know. I might have to add some more little drippy things. But I like it so far. We're starting with that same brush that I was putting all the color on with. And I'm gonna spray my corner up here. And I'm starting out with cobalt in the corners. It just added a lot of depth on the painting, so I'm continuing to use that same sort of a technique on the dresser. And moving on into Pure Ocean, just dip it ever so lightly. And blend that right in. And I'm just spraying with water. And I'm gonna go in with some amethyst, which is a purple. Kind of get it in there, here and there. And go in with the aubergine. I need to open a new one. Almost out. And this is all still pretty wet because I've been spraying it, so it's able to blend really easily. Now you can see I like the drip, but I didn't like how far down it was going, so I just took some of the other colors I was using and almost like dry brushing them in there. And now for my peony. I'll put it back up here so y'all can see what we did today. This is our sky, and this is the piece. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be back on at the same time. I started at 4, so man, we've already gone an hour. I think time just flies when you're having fun. I could work on this for a couple more probably. So let's see, tomorrow I'll be on at the same time, which is 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Friday, we'll be doing probably some last little finishing touches. Tomorrow we're going to be going over this land and perfecting that kind of the same way we did with the clouds, just adding in all that dimension and all of that extra, which the second layer I think just sort of gives it that wow factor, where the first layer is really fun and beautiful and you can leave it at that if you want to, but it's those details that kind of give it that wow once you're done. So I want to thank you guys so much for following along with me. Thanks, Janet. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them here. I'll be going through all the comments, make sure I didn't miss anything, and I hope you all have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.